What's up, TrendPop fam? Get ready for a rapid-fire rundown of the news that's got everyone talking. First up, Fox News host Brian Kilmeade is in hot water, apologizing after making an incredibly disturbing suggestion on air about the mentally ill and homeless population. This comment has sparked outrage and a serious conversation about compassion and public discourse. Next, we're diving into the political arena, where House Republican Leadership Chairwoman Elise Stefanik is calling out New York Governor Kathy Hochul for her endorsement of Zohran Mamdani for NYC Mayor. Stefanik is not holding back, slamming Hochul's decision and questioning the direction of the Democratic Party in New York. Then, get ready for some explosive revelations as a massive leak of nearly 18,000 emails between Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein is painting a much more intimate picture of their involvement in his sex trafficking network. These emails reveal details that could change everything we thought we knew. And we're closing out this packed segment with two massive stories. President Donald Trump is making waves with a bold declaration about keeping the National Guard in Washington, D.C., even threatening a national emergency. Plus, Kari Lake is issuing a controversial warning to parents about sending their kids to college, claiming they could end up brainwashed. Stick around for all the details and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Fox News hosts shocking execution comment sparks outrage. This story is critical because it highlights a disturbing sentiment expressed by a prominent media figure regarding vulnerable populations, sparking widespread debate on mental health, homelessness, and public discourse. Brian Kilmeade, a host on Fox News, has issued an apology after advocating for the execution of mentally ill homeless people during a discussion on the network. The controversial remark, made on Fox and Friends, came up while discussing the stabbing death of Irina Zarutska by a homeless and mentally ill man in Charlotte, North Carolina. Kilmeade suggested involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill him. His co-hosts, Lawrence Jones and Ainsley Earhart, did not immediately push back, with Earhart questioning why it had to get to that point and Kilmeade responding about voting for the right people. The comment quickly gained traction online, leading to Kilmeade's on-air apology on Sunday. He stated, "I wrongly said they should get lethal injection. I apologize for that extremely callous remark. I am obviously aware that not all mentally ill, homeless people act as the perpetrator did in North Carolina, and that so many homeless people deserve our empathy and compassion. However, advocates for the homeless, like Christine Quinn, CEO of WIN, have criticized the remark as completely devoid of all humanity and invited Kilmeade to volunteer in a shelter." The incident occurred shortly before the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, and an MSNBC analyst was fired for suggesting hateful rhetoric can lead to hateful actions. The public reaction has been swift and largely critical, with many decrying the lack of empathy and the potential for such rhetoric to dehumanize vulnerable groups. Experts point out the deep correlation between homelessness and mental illness, with trauma from homelessness often exacerbating mental health conditions. Kilmeade's apology, while issued, has been called inadequate by some, who argue it doesn't fully address the moral implications of his statement. But what was Kilmeade's exact phrasing, and how did his colleagues react in the moment? We've got the full breakdown that you won't want to miss. Next, we're heading to New York for a political showdown that's shaking up the mayoral race. Elise Stefanik slams Kathy Hochul's controversial endorsement. This political clash is significant as it pits a prominent Republican against a Democratic governor, highlighting deep ideological divides and the shifting landscape of New York politics. House Republican Leadership Chairwoman Elise Stefanik has sharply criticized New York Governor Kathy Hochul for endorsing Zohran Mamdani, a candidate for NYC Mayor, whom Stefanik labels a communist and an anti-Semite. In an interview on Fox News, Fox and Friends, Stefanik detailed her strong opposition to Mamdani's platform, which she claims includes defunding the police, abolishing law enforcement and prisons, and dismantling private health care. Stefanik argued that Hochul is bending the knee to the radical left and owns Mamdani's positions, asserting that this endorsement puts New York and the Jewish community at risk. She further contended that Hochul's decision is driven by abysmal polling numbers and an attempt to appease a far-left base, rather than reflecting the will of the majority of New Yorkers who, according to Stefanik, desire common sense, lower taxes, and support for law enforcement. Stefanik pointed to New York leading the nation in high taxes and outmigration as evidence of failed policies under the current leadership, suggesting that Mamdani's platform would further destroy the state. She also highlighted that New York moved significantly in the Republican direction in the last presidential election, indicating a potential shift in voter sentiment. The political fallout from this endorsement is considerable, with conservative groups amplifying Stefanik's criticisms. The endorsement itself has become a focal point for debate about the direction of the Democratic Party, particularly in a key swing state like New York. Analysts are watching to see if Hochul's endorsement alienates moderate voters or energizes the progressive base. Will this endorsement cost Hochul crucial support, or is it a calculated move in a shifting political landscape? Find out the potential impact. Then, prepare for a bombshell as thousands of leaked emails between Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein are set to reveal shocking new details. Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein's secrets exposed in massive email leak. This trove of nearly 18,000 emails offers unprecedented insight into the inner workings of Epstein's sex trafficking network and Maxwell's deep involvement. A sprawling new investigation by Bloomberg has unearthed approximately 18,000 never-before-seen emails between Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, directly contradicting Maxwell's attempts to distance herself from the convicted sex trafficker and paint herself as a victim. The emails, exchanged via Epstein's personal Yahoo account, reveal that Maxwell was intimately intertwined in his vast sex trafficking network. In 2008 alone, the pair exchanged at least 2 messages per day, indicating a much closer and more active relationship than publicly admitted. The communications include a spreadsheet cataloging gifts to Epstein's associates and victims, organized by Maxwell, and her suggestions on how Epstein could nurture his relationships with the powerful. The emails also document their discussions about Epstein's legal troubles, with Maxwell offering opinions on potential criminal charges, including debating whether to face charges for lewd and lascivious conduct or procuring minors for prostitution. Beyond the legal discussions, the correspondence reveals Maxwell providing detailed instructions for a shared fertility procedure after Epstein's home was raided in 2005, emphasizing the need for sample collection within 90 minutes of her procedure. Their emails also detail strategies to discredit whistleblowers and victims who had come forward with allegations of sex abuse. The larger cache of messages provides a disturbingly vivid portrait of Epstein's misconduct, detailing mundane purchases alongside chilling items like a leather bullwhip and girls' school uniforms. The sheer volume and content of these emails challenge Maxwell's narrative and shed new light on the operations of their criminal enterprise. The leak has sent shockwaves through legal and advocacy circles, with many calling for further investigation into Maxwell's full role. Experts suggest these emails could provide crucial evidence in ongoing legal battles and public understanding of the scope of Epstein's crimes and Maxwell's complicity. These emails are a game-changer, exposing the depth of their conspiracy. But that's not all the bombshell news we have today. President Donald Trump is making a bold move regarding the National Guard in D.C., and Kari Lake has a controversial message for parents about college. Trump threatens national emergency to keep National Guard in D.C. Kari Lake warns parents about college. This dual story highlights President Trump's assertive stance on national security and immigration, juxtaposed with Kari Lake's provocative commentary on higher education and political radicalization. President Donald Trump has declared his willingness to call a national emergency to keep approximately 800 National Guard members in Washington, D.C., asserting that he is stepping in to resolve a complete criminal mess. In a Truth Social post, Trump claimed that under his federal intervention, D.C. has transformed from one of the most dangerous cities to one of the safest in just a few weeks, attributing this to federal immigration agents having free rein. This claim directly contradicts data from the Washington Post and the Metropolitan Police Department, which show a documented decline in violent crime and homicides in Washington since 2023. The Justice Department is even investigating the D.C. Police Department for potentially manipulating crime data. While the presence of the National Guard has coincided with cleared homeless encampments and detentions of individuals allegedly in the country illegally, it has also led to protests against the military occupation, a drop in tourism, and struggling businesses. Trump insists that Mayor Muriel Bowser's refusal to cooperate with ICE on removing undocumented immigrants would cause crime to come roaring back, vowing to federalize the situation if necessary, a move that could cost the country millions daily. Meanwhile, Arizona Republican Kari Lake has issued a stark warning to parents, advising them not to send their children to college, as they could become brainwashed into political violence, likening universities to indoctrination camps. Speaking at a vigil for conservative activist Charlie Kirk, Lake suggested that the alleged gunman in Kirk's fatal shooting, Tyler Robinson, a 22-year-old who attended college for only one semester, was radicalized by his university experience. This claim has been widely disputed, as Robinson was enrolled in a trade school, and his alleged radicalization is more likely linked to online content than higher education. Lake's rhetoric aligns with a broader MAGA narrative blaming universities for woke, indoctrination, and political extremism. Despite the controversy, Lake continues to target higher education, framing it as a source of progressive activism. Trump's potential national emergency declaration raises questions about executive overreach and the use of federal power in local affairs. Lake's comments fuel the ongoing culture war surrounding higher education and political ideology, particularly in the wake of high-profile incidents. Both stories are generating significant debate across political spectrums. Will Trump's bold move succeed, or will it face legal challenges? And what's behind Lake's fiery warning to parents? Stay tuned for our full outro, where we'll recap all the top stories of the day. And that's a wrap on today's top stories. We saw Brian Kilmeade apologize for his shocking remarks about the homeless Elise Stefanik clash with Kathy Hochul over Zohran Mamdani's endorsement, and Ghislaine Maxwell's secrets exposed through leaked emails. Plus, Donald Trump threatened a national emergency over the National Guard in D.C., and Kari Lake issued a controversial warning about college. Don't forget to like this video if you found it informative, subscribe to TrendPop for more daily updates, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and follow us on all our social media platforms.